Hello and welcome to the Listening Post's unboxing channel on YouTube. Today it is with great pride that I am unboxing SVS's brand new PC2000 Pro. An evolution over the wonderfully successful PC2000, the Pro has added an app-based setup, more power, more dynamics, and takes an unbelievably good subwoofer and makes it surprisingly better. It features the Sledge amplifier, 12-inch driver. Look, they rated it about 550 watts, but that is so conservative. It will peak well in excess of 1500 watts, and it's huge. So, without further ado, let's have a look. So, line drawing, screen printing on one side, pretty boring. The box itself shows that this particular option is gloss black, piano black. It's just the top plate, and you'll see that. And please hang around for the usual close-up photographs, and you'll see a good example. The scan information of model and serial number, and an indication of its voltage. There's more line drawings and some basic information, and where to actually open it. Now, these subwoofers are typically very heavy. This particular one we can sort of move around a little bit to gain access. Opening it's relatively straightforward. Like anything, it's just clear plastic tape. So some nicks and away we go. It's worth noting before we continue that no matter which way you stack this, whether it be upright or on its side, it's well protected for freight, and it's got an emulation of scan product information and barcode on one end, should it be stacked this way rather than upright. Okay, so opening it, the first thing you see is kind of boring. It's an additional layer of packaging. That's to ensure two things. Obviously this is a round cylinder, so to stop it from moving in freight, there's a lot of additional packaging to ensure that it arrives to you in one piece. This top bit not only ensures that should you drag your craft knife across it, it's not going to touch the product, but obviously you can see, look at the elaborate curved nature of this packaging. It's not going anywhere. It's going to be beautifully well looked after with a closed cell foam all the way around. In here, I'm not going to take it out, there's some basic information and setup. Most of it actually focuses on downloading the app, because the app now allows you via Bluetooth to sit in your living room chair and tweak any number of features and functions of this. Volume, frequency response, all of those things from the comfort of your chair. So that's wonderful to see. From this point, the easiest is actually to sort of roll the box and carefully sort of get this product sort of rolling literally out. Taking advantage of the fact that it's a cylinder, it makes it a bit easier to move it. Now, in the bottom, again you see the other half of the closed cell foam packaging and a New Zealand IEC power cord. Now this particular one has probably been opened by the distributor here in New Zealand and a New Zealand power cord added, as it's unlikely that we would have seen it out of the factory with a New Zealand power cord. Okay, so just pull that out to make sure that there's nothing underneath. Yep, nice and empty, nothing there. Right, looking to the subwoofer. Firstly, you'll see a large, oversized bag. Nice, simple little nick, and you can open that. There's a couple of desiccant bags in the middle here, and at the base is where we get access to the subwoofer itself. Again, simple enough to nick. So once the bag is sort of over the feet, the first thing you should do is put the subwoofer back up onto those feet and slide the bag and other protective things off. There's a cardboard tube, and it's taped in place along with the desiccant bags to ensure that it is kept moisture free. Okay. Very straightforward. There we go. And then because this is a gloss finish, it has that sort of bubbly paper on the top to ensure that that finish isn't damaged in the transit. Okay, so looking at this product for the first time, you'll see that it's not at all small, and it's not designed to be. The cylinder design means that all of the subwoofer's mass is over the drive unit. So rather than having to worry about anchoring it with spikes or adjustment or something along those lines, the woofer is facing the floor, giving a wonderful disbursement into a room, and again all of the mass, all of the weight of this unit is sitting, ensuring that that drive unit is coupling brilliantly with the room and doing the job that it needs to. It's a cylinder. It's about 870, 900 millimeters high. As you can see, it's quite tall. It's muted in its design and perhaps looks more like a piece of furniture than a subwoofer, and that's part of its charm. There is a logo in the front, SVS, nice and discreet at the bottom. If I pause and lean this over, we see two things. Firstly, SVS's isolation feet. These are available as an accessory because they're so successful as far as an upgrade for even their most modest subwoofers. And these can be removed and added spikes. If you need to, but please don't bother. It's a 12-inch driver, and it's a long throw driver with a traditional annulus. It's SVS's own driver, and it's backed up again with SVS's own Sledge amplification. Cloth across it, although this is doing nothing other than giving it a look of something like a speaker. It's at the back that we see some of the magic. Now firstly, it's a massive port. When you're delivering so much bass, so much control and so much dynamics in a room, that driver is going to be moving a lot of air, and you can ill afford to allow the port to start chuffing. You need to control that airflow, and what they do with this particular model is have a big long tube. It's huge, it's as long as the subwoofer itself is high, to ensure that the woofer can't exchange any air into the room and create port chuffing. It's a massive port for that reason, and again all the way up to the top to ensure that the air exchange is never going to create any distortion in the room, and that even the deepest notes are clear and clean. Above the port we see a 3-pin IEC power socket. It's earthed, and a good quality rocker switch. SVS's amplification is nestled in behind this, and the metal back is designed to deliver a little bit of cooling, of course, with the fact that the metal allows for some cooling features. You've got a Bluetooth logo and other things associated with the app, and you've got an emulation of the model and serial number. Above it, SVS's logo, and of course their Sledge. Now this is their STA550D. Now that means 550 watts Class D, and again with all of that current available, it'll deliver in excess of 1500 1600 watts easily. Okay. Above the SVS logo is a couple of push buttons. This was first seen in the SV3000, and it's lovely to see it trickle down into such an affordable unit. Because you can set it up via an app, the necessity, I guess, to have a dial and other switches is no longer needed. You can toggle between any of the setup functions, and it's easy to navigate with some of the illumination associated with volume and other features via the push buttons. Colours change appropriately for what it's doing. You can change it in and out of phase, all of those types of things from the buttons. Although please download the app. Do this from the comfort of your seat, and the result will be better. Look, off to one side we have a 5-volt power supply. Now that is designed to have any number of wireless receivers introduced. SVS do their own, but there's a couple of others that are available as well. Then we've got a line in and line out stacked on top of each other. The single line in for LFE is clearly indicated with a little white surround, and that's the right in. Should you place two in, of course it's going to expect a stereo signal and bring it down to mono, and it allows both stereo in and out into a stereo preamp via a tape loop or something along those lines. Beneath the inputs and outputs, we've got a very simple trigger input. It's a 3.5mm mono. It accepts between 3 and 12 volts and gives the ability that this subwoofer will be forced into on or off position based on the status of the connected equipment. Most likely, of course, your AV receiver via its 12-volt trigger. Those cables are cheap. Use them. It's a nice way of locking things on or off, and it won't require any of the standby settings which could potentially see the subwoofer turning on or off unexpectedly. Okay, so SVS PC2000 Pro, a wonderful evolution of the traditional PC2000, here in gloss black, unboxed here at the Listening Post in Christchurch, New Zealand. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more, subscribe to our channel.